Hello Vikings! The purpose of this video is to show you how to create your own blog using Blogger, fix the settings that you need to make this usable for school, and then how to do all of the different things that you are going to be required to do for your assignment. So we're going to start by going to Blogger, and you know what, it's blogger.com, or you can do a Google search for Blogger, whatever makes you happy. Pretty easy to get to. And you can see that I already have several blogs in here. Your screen will probably be blank under this section. You're going to come over here to the left and click on New Blog. And here's maybe the hardest part: you have to name it. So think of a good title for your blog, and then your address can reflect that title as well. Please don't use your full name. It can be difficult to find an address that works. When you type it in, you'll see that it automatically kind of fills in the rest of the address for you. You just bring your mouse down here and click on it, and it's going to tell you whether that address is available or not. If it's not, try adding some numbers at the end or something like that. That'll make it a unique address pretty easily. Now, under the template, we're actually not going to choose the template right now. We're going to come back and do that in a little bit. This is kind of a weird view to pick a template from, so just pick the simple one and hit Create Blog, and that'll get us started. Okay, and what it's going to do is going to put this right up here at the top of your list, or might be the only thing in your list. And when you come back to this blog later, you'll be able to click on the little orange pencil to create a new post really quickly. In our case, we still have some work to do before we're ready to start blogging, so we're going to go over here to the drop-down menu, and we're going to go down to Settings. There's a couple settings I want you to change for me, and over in this left-hand side, under the Settings part, I want you to go down to Mobile and Comments. And what I want you to do is, under Who Can Comment, I want you to change this to User with Google Accounts, please. And then under Comment Moderation, I want you to put Always. What that means is that anytime somebody submits a comment to your blog, you have to approve that it's okay, and that keeps people from just posting any weird thing out there. It keeps people from posting inappropriate things on your blog. So I want you to make sure that you do Always. Now, that also comes with responsibility for going in and checking to make sure that you see all the comments and that you approve them so that your classmates can get the points that they deserve on this assignment. If you would like, you can enter an email address here, and basically Blogger will email you every time someone leaves a comment to let you know you have one that you need to go check. Now, in Blogger, your action buttons are always orange. If you look around the blog right now, New Post is an action button. That's where I go to create something. The Save is up here on the right, top right, and that's where the Save always is going to be in Blogger. Okay, so those are my action buttons, and they're always going to be orange. Okay, so now that I've saved those settings, I can now go start to work on my template. And remember, as you're choosing a template, that you want to choose something that you think reflects your character. Now, you can always come back and change this later. So as you read the book and as you learn more about your character, you may change your mind about what the template needs to be, and that's okay. So I'm going to come down and choose something, and I'm going to kind of do something random, I guess. Let's see. Let's do this one. Oh, sure. And then again, my action button is orange, Apply to the blog. Okay. And so now if I scroll up to the top, you can kind of see my preview. Now you can actually customize this even more as far as the colors and the background and things like that. So if you click on the Customize button, let me just show you real quickly how this works. Right now you're in the customization screen. You've got your templates. You can choose another template. You can kind of navigate in between them. And as you choose something, it's going to preview right here. This may be the better way to choose a template because you actually can see what it looks like as you work. Okay, so I'm going to go back and find, oh, I kind of like that one. Okay, I'm going to pick that one. And then I can go back and start to mess with that template. So like under background, for example, I can change alignment. I can change, this is of the background image. Right now it's a solid color, I think, or it's one with default. You can tile the background if you upload a picture. You can they have more images, so if you click on that drop down menu, you can pick from several different images, so pick one that you think reflects your character. Now you can also adjust the widths. So right now I have a right sidebar and I have the entire blog, and I can change how wide this is going to be. Now don't go too wide, because then it won't be viewable on most computer screens. Okay, I would leave that kind of alone. But if you want your sidebar to be bigger or smaller, you can do that depending on what you want. The layout, okay, right now you can kind of see that the default has multiple columns in the sidebar. All right, I personally don't like that, so I would choose this, but again, up to you. Where do you want your sidebar to be? Do you want it to be on the left, on the right? Do you want a sidebar on both sides? So you make your selections here. And then you have your advanced section, and this is where you can really get picky. So if you don't like the color of this title, for example, you can change that. So all the different pieces of the blog are labeled over here, and it'll kind of show you what you're supposed to be looking at, okay, by highlighting it with these little red dots. So let's say I'm looking at the blog title. I can change the font. Now it's not going to have a bazillion choices. Different parts of this will give you more. Again, choose a font that makes sense with your character. Okay, and I don't know. All right, sure. And you can change the color. Now what's really nice is that it does give you some suggestions. It gives you colors from this template. I will caution you here that you want to make sure that your blog is readable. So you want to make sure you have like dark text on a really light background. No matter what color you choose, make sure that it will stand out enough to be read, because if Miss Tuitt can't read your blog, she can't grade your blog, and that's kind of an important thing. All right, so you can go down here through any of these different little pieces and change the color for any of them. There's lots and lots of customization you can do. Okay, so when we're all done, we're going to hit the orange action button again and apply to blog. Don't leave without doing that, or you're going to lose all of that work that you just did. And then you're going to click on back to Blogger, and it's going to take you back to this screen. So now you've customized it. Now we need to worry about the layout. So we're going to just keep working up this menu here. So we're going to go to layout, and we already talked about, we're going to have one column. You can see that I have the one section for my blog post, and then I have one column in my sidebar. I do want you to delete this section, this About Me section, please. So go to Edit and then click on Remove and get rid of that. We don't need that showing up in our blogs because these are public. We don't need that to say anything about you personally. Now, in your assignment, you have been asked to create to put a picture of what you think your character would look like a photograph. So we're going to go ahead and add an image. Here's how you do that. You just simply click on Add a Gadget, and it will bring up a whole menu of different kinds of gadgets that you can add. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down, and one of them is image. And you can see that what it's going to do is let you title your image, caption. These are not required elements. If you don't want to title it or caption it, you don't have to. You don't have to link it if you don't want to. Here's the important part. You're going to choose a file from your computer, and oh, there's Mr. Ellis. I have him in my computer from doing the website. Okay, so we'll say he's Miss Whatsit for right now, and we're going to say save. All right. Now, what are the other things that you have to add? You have to add a description, right? So you're going to need to put some text over here in the sidebar. So again, you're going to click on Add a Gadget, and this time you're going to put text. Lo and behold, let's put the plus button. And again, you can title it, you can type, blah, blah, blah. You have some very basic formatting available, some bold and italics and that sort of thing. You can even put a quote in here if you would like. and then you simply save it. Now, if you wanted your text under your picture, you just drag and drop that little piece. So you can drag and drop all these little things all around wherever you want to go. Now, what else can you add to Gadget? Because I noticed that on your rubric, you can get points for customizing your blog even further and making it even better and more wonderful. So let's look. So when you add a gadget, you can add other text or other pictures, right? So we already know we can do that. What else is in here? Let's see. You can do the HTML or JavaScript box. The HTML is going to be little widgets that you can find different places. So for example, from Twitter, you can add a widget, right? So you can follow a certain person on Twitter, or you can follow a certain hashtag on Twitter and embed that in here. Or you can find a little widget that has the current weather, and that will give you an HTML code that you can paste in here. HTML code uses these little tags, and so if you know about HTML code and want to do some embedding, use that one. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I don't know how much you know about that or not. You could also do a poll, like what would your character want to know from his or her readers? You know, ask a poll. You could do a blog list. Find some blogs that your character would follow. Do a link list. What are some websites that your character would recommend to people? Or a list of favorite books or movies or anything you like. This would be a really great thing to add to give a little bit more depth to your understanding of your character. Okay, so look through these things and see what else you can add to your blog to make this really show off your understanding of your character. Okay, so now we fixed that, and again, action button top right, save arrangement. Don't leave without doing that because you don't want to lose your work. Now we're ready to start posting. And you know what? Let's go up here to view blog and just see what this looks like so far. Oh, there's Mr. Ellis and there's our text. Okay, looks good to me. Now, you can't see this. I actually have two tabs at the top, so I'm just going to close this tab and I'll be back on my settings page. Okay, so now I'm ready to post, and so I can just come right up here to new post and I can start typing. Okay, now remember that you have to have a title, and your title has to be well, I don't actually remember it. I don't have the paper in front of me, but there's a specific requirement for your title, and I know you have to have a quote as a subtitle. Okay, so make sure that you put that in here. And then as you type your post, you can add links to different sites. You can do some formatting with different colored text, highlighting, adding links. This right here is where you add a picture. I know you have to insert an image into at least one of your posts. So there's that. Also, as you're typing, and let's just say I'm typing along, la 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 la, I'm doing a really good job. And as I'm working, I can highlight this section. Let's say this is a quote from the book. I can highlight it and click on the quote buttons, and it will automatically indent that and move it over so that I know it's a quote. So that's a really good thing for you to know also. When you're finished typing, you can either save this, which does not publish this on your blog, and nobody will see it. Okay, Miss Tuitt will not see it if you just hit save. But if you need to come back later and edit it before you make it live, then you can do that. If you want Miss Tuitt to see it, you need to click the orange action button again, the publish button. And you can preview this right here. Okay, this is actually usually going to show you title, show you a title, but right now we didn't have a title on that post because I was a bad girl, so I did not put that there. So now I'm going to go to view blog, and I can see here's my post, here's my picture, here's all of the stuff on my sidebar. Okay, and if you need any assistance while you're working on this, you can email hamptonk, HAMPTONK @friscoisd.org. Good luck!